Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to the Ottoman campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. The Dreadnought Improvement Project, the great game. So, Duke, one of the developers of the Tweaks and Fixes mod that is included in the Dreadnought Improvement Project, gave me a modified, or actually an older file to include in the mod folder to replace another one that he believes was causing the game freezing issues. And I did test it a little bit. Went in and out of the shipyard a dozen times or so with no freezes. So fingers crossed that will have done the trick. So what are we? It's been a couple of days then since my last recording, which is why I haven't uploaded anything of this campaign as of the moment of recording. But when you're seeing this, I will obviously have uploaded it. So, we have this task force here. We lost one armored cruiser and a torpedo boat, and two more torpedo boats have been sent for repair. Other than that, the task force is pretty much intact. However, there is a bit of ammunition missing. Some of these ships are completely dry. Not just out of main gun ammunition, but out of everything. So, they're gonna have to go into Constantinople. They can resupply ammunition at sea, but I want to have them get some minor repairs done as well. Which means there's gonna be a couple of months before we can go out and attack this task force here. Financially, things are okay. We're losing some transports. Actually losing quite a bit of transports. So we're gonna sacrifice the tech budget, at least for a couple of months, while the transport fleet can hopefully be rebuilt. Now then, on to 1894, which is an election year. And unlike the unlike our recent Norwegian election, the Center Party seems to have done well. The war continues. I do not want to get the Germans involved. Although, like, I don't think that would do much to the actual war, because Germany has no navy. But that means also it would be impossible to knock them out of the war. Go here. Are there any more torpedo boats out and about? Are the Austrian advances going? They're not doing much. Sending a huge fleet here. All my ships are being repaired, but I'm not over the shipbuilding capacity. This tiny fleet is not sufficient to block the Red Sea, maybe. Or maybe it is. Maybe we're gonna get these guys. This task force did not get those guys. 14,000 tons. That's not enough to initiate a naval invasion. We're gonna send them to Constantinople. Link up with the rest of the fleet, which, when repaired next month, we're gonna send them out and fight this large Austrian task force. Good. Okay. So my shipyard expansion has been completed. I'm not sure if I want to expand it again right now. Transport capacity holding at 195%. Decent. We're getting larger light cruisers in 1 month. We're getting torpedo propulsion in 1 month. 2 months. Let's say 2 months. That's fine. Anything else of use? Mark II 2-inch guns. A little over 2 years, and we're gonna get our first Mark I 13s. Alright. Not bad, not bad. 10 months, we're gonna get secondary double turrets for capital ships. Useful. But for now, we're just gonna... Actually, before I click next... Let's do that. Let's not drag them in. The Chinese Empire wants to become my ally, and they're offering it free of charge. But that does mean new responsibilities and blah blah blah. And China is a long way away. So. China is fighting Austria, though. And the United States. And the Austrians are striking my port. And I'm losing my transports. But we will soon deal with the Austrians. Okay, they just sailed straight past this task force, which was apparently not enough to block this strait here. If I place it like right in between here, is that gonna be enough? Maybe. Because the control circle of this fleet is so tiny. Because it's 1894. Of course, some of these ships have been dragged into some stupid battle. None of the battleships, though. This guy is still not repaired. I thought that was just going to be a 1 month repair thing, but... this is fine. We're going to fight 3 Austrian light cruisers. We got 2 heavies and a light. So... that should work. Alright, light cruiser. Actually, I don't want you following. I want you scouting. Never mind, we find the enemy. So this should be the same class of light cruisers that we've seen before. I think I recognize some of these names. Already been repaired. Let's knock them out once and for all. Weather conditions are good. That's good. That's an advantage to my gunnery. Regular crew. Regular crew. Not veterans. Maybe these were not the ones that were in battle. Let's now drop them down to cruising speed. At least it's not cadet crew. You can drop down your speed a little bit too, so you can get some cruising speed bonus. Still not hitting much, but pretty confident the 6-inch guns on this can outgun the 4.3-inch guns on Fugaz. And at least Lutfi Pasha has the speed and maneuverability to avoid those torpedoes. As long as I pay attention. That's a big if. Scoring pens. And some of these cruisers are actually very low on ammunition. My ships are not, which leads me to believe that these are... yeah. These are not the ones that were in battle. There we go, first flooding hit on planet. That's excellent. I'm gonna have my armored cruisers accelerate a little bit. Accuracy be down, we need to get closer. Let's not have them both firing at the same target. You can go for this one, the lead ship. Are you supposed to be hovering like that? I guess maybe it is. Anyway. Avoided the torpedo because I was paying attention. Nine-inch guns have not done much yet. Now I can slow down. You too. There we go, good floating hit. So far, so good. Planet is going to sink. You've taken taken a pretty big hit from a 9-inch gun. Main belt pen. I mean, it's not sinking just yet, but it's a pretty hopeless position. We're actually gonna cease fire on planet. Because as long as she's crippled, the rest of the squadron is not gonna move anywhere soon. I actually drop these down to 9 knots. We got them where we want them. Lutfi Pasha has done a pretty good job with those 6-inch guns. There we go. Engine out. Lots of flooding. This is one light cruiser that is about to sink. First kill. And that was a crippling hit on Fugas. Maybe something like this. Why isn't the A turret firing? Doesn't seem to be firing on this one either. It looked like they had good arcs of fire when I designed them. Maybe they need another refit. That could be it. I had to have this accelerate out of torpedo range. Should be good now. Anyway, I think Lutfi Pasha can cease fire. Yeah, no, the A turret is not traversing to fire. It's effectively out of action. Because of some design fault. And there goes Planet, and that's a victory. With pretty much no damage taken. Minor scratches, but yeah. Lost one crew member on the light cruiser. That's it. It says 3 here. I don't know what's up with that. These two lost one each. Rounding error. Anyway. Good. Win. Let's hope the game doesn't freeze. It doesn't. Good. So, just to be safe, I'm gonna save it here. Let's take a look at what's wrong with that cruiser design. That's the refit. Alright. I mean, doesn't look like there's anything wrong with this. Ah, it's like right at this angle. It doesn't work. Why was it giving me a full green circle then? Fine. We're gonna move the A turret a few inches further forwards. And that should effectively double the firepower of this class. Anything else I can, while I'm here... Not quite enough. Give them standard ammo. Give them anti-torp 1. Anti-torp 1 is a pretty nice thing to have. Actually. But reinforced bulkheads might be a nicer thing to have. Actually, both are very nice to have. But what do I sacrifice to make that happen? That is a question. Sacrifice a bit of turret armor. I'm not sure what else I want to sacrifice. One funnel. That makes it a 2-month refit. And that's just too long. I want to have... Okay, I can't remove the reinforced bulkheads, so they're gonna have to stay, I guess. There we go. A bit of armor and no anti-torp, but we get reinforced bulkheads. So that's good. And an A turret that works, so that's even better. Means they're gonna run out of ammunition even sooner, but anyway. Now let's have these some of these ships refit 3 of them can be refit right now. Set them to defend, so they don't get drawn into any battles. Because now I have to wait for those ships to be refit and my second battleship to be repaired before I engage this. So that's that. It will have to happen in March. War continues. I do not want war with Japan. China seems to be fighting everyone, so it's a good thing I said no to that alliance. Austria-Hungary keeps striking my ports. But we've had enough of that now. This task force, I guess, will go and fight the Dutch. Zero, zero, zero. So at least the Austrian army isn't getting anywhere. Austrian army, Austro-Hungarian army bogged down in the Balkans. Who could have foreseen that? My fleet is ready. That gives me 5 armored cruisers, 4 lights, and 6 torpedo boats. I can leave some light cruisers behind. This one could need a refit. That one could need a refit. But I need them. They're just gonna have to have fewer operational guns. That is fine. You are being left behind. You are being left behind. Regular crew training. Trained. Green. Alright. That is the strike force. And hopefully we now get that battle. Let's reprioritize large guns. Because I want those Mark IIs. We get more battleships in like 5 years. We're gonna have to design something new before then. Now then. Let's get that fight. And we get 2 meetings. So that's exactly what I wanted. Wow. There was a lot more Dutch ships than I thought. It must have had another task force hiding behind it. I didn't check. Well, then. Their armored cruisers have a top speed of 15.6 knots, so they're a little bit slower than mine. They got 4 9.2-inch guns. I've got 4 9-inch guns, but effectively only 2, because these have not had that refit done yet. Light cruisers, 19.4 knots. So a little bit faster than mine. Torpedo boats, slower than mine. Can I withdraw from this? I can. That's probably the best thing I could do there. Now, Austrians. We've fought these before. Actually, this is a different class. Graz class. 4 9.6s. They might be Mark IIs. And another type of light cruiser. Top speed 21.3. And also torpedoboats I have not seen before. This could be exciting. Alright. A little bit outnumbered, but mostly in the light cruiser department. Same number of battleships. One less heavy cruiser. Same number of torpedoboats. So hopefully it works out. And hopefully my ships have gained some crew experience. But sadly, I think theirs have too, because they've been doing those port strikes. Yeah, green crew. And you do get crew experience from port strikes as well. Let's see. Have the cruisers follow. Unoriginal, I know. But just kind of to form it up. And let's see. 2 divisions of 3 torpedo boats each. Would be possible to manage. How's the ammunition situation? 219, 219. Yeah, they seem fully stocked up. Alright. So this class of light cruiser we've seen before, this one too. It's the usual suspects. They had another class that is was not seen yet. That's the Bregenz class heavy cruiser. We've seen that before. Same thing, they had one with 9-inch guns. Bregenz all only have one single 10-inch gun. Their other class had 2 double 9-inch guns. Which is, I think, a much more potent main armament. I'm gonna try and take down these light cruisers first. Because they're the ones coming in with those torpedoes. And my light cruisers intercept the enemy torpedo boats. That's what they should, in theory, be good at. Okay, you have a defective A turret. You have a defective A turret. Your turrets are working. Good. See if I can bring this torpedo boat squadron like up and around. Here's a new one. Let's take a look. Low, Mark 1 2-inch guns, so they have not marked them up to Mark 2. 4.7-inch armor, not the best armor quality. Okay, we can deal with these guys. Let's see if we can find the light cruiser with the 5-inch guns. Here we are. Guts is less armor than the other one. Okay, we can deal with these two. Good to know. Light cruisers intercepting torpedo boats. There you go, first flooding hit on the Penguin. Gonna have the secondaries on the armored cruisers. I'd have to finish that guy off. Yes, you will target the one in the back, and we're gonna trust the game to give us a bunch of hits on the closest one for free. So far, so good. So Layman, you have switched targets. Don't do that. Okay, light cruisers, you can switch to Gutses. It's already taken a couple of hits. Torpedo boats continue on. I'm gonna attack these armored cruisers in the back. Dahlfelden taking some big hits. Good, good. Good hits on Gutses. Ooh, what's that? We've got enemy battleships engaging my cruisers. Seems we gotta do something about those battleships. But we gotta unwrap them from these light cruisers first. This armored cruiser might fall victim to torpedo boats, because it's kind of crippled. Come on, turn. 90-9. They're going in and attacking Budapest. Hopefully, you can get away with that. Hopefully. I just hope those torpedoes don't continue on too far. Okay, we're going after that one instead. Luckily, the torpedoes don't do too much damage to my torpedo boats. Well, you're still going after Budapest. Changed my mind again. No, you're going after this one because it is in range. Okay, maybe not. You're gonna take one torpedo, of course you do. You're gonna launch. Hopefully, before you sink. We do launch. And we do score a torpedo hit on an enemy battleship. Guy isn't doing anything. Back to something else. You've taken torpedoes. Not much do to avoid that when it's dead in the water. These torpedo boats are now perfectly placed to engage the enemy battleships. What are my battleships engaging? Light cruisers. The torpedo? Which side do you have torpedoes on now? One torpedo launcher is ready. I think best bet is just try and launch it at blitz. Never mind. 90-3 though. Getting away. Speed up a little bit. You can slow down a little bit so you stop sticking together. Tugendhafte is a little bit crippled. Budapest is intact. -5 is going after Budapest. Meanwhile, here... it's fine. We've unstuck the cruisers from the battleships. Actually, you're going after Tugendhafte with torpedoes on one side. Oh, unlucky. Tugendhafte might sink from this. I hate that it doesn't update when I pause. 2 torpedo hits on Budapest. Just turn 90 dash. Never mind. Torpedoes destroyed. -10. Has torpedoes away against Tugendhafte. I think we're gonna get her. I think we are. Tugendhafte sinks. First battleship down. Might get the second one if we can avoid this torpedo. Because 90-10 fixed our engines. And has torpedoes in the water. And if we can avoid that enemy torpedo, it might also hit the Budapest. No, it doesn't, but almost. Budapest still afloat. But just barely. Now then. My battleships are engaging enemy torpedo boats. And we are successfully sinking them. Both my battleships now target Budapest. Trained our secondaries on Penguin T2. I'm gonna have to deal with these guys first. Guts is damaged. Yeah, 90-10 is probably not going to make it. -4 almost has her torpedoes back. And Budapest is right there. Do I want to sacrifice another torpedo boat to get a battleship? I think I do. I think I do. That torpedo boat has no torpedoes. These torpedo boats are harmless. Never mind, we're ignoring them. We are ignoring those torpedo boats. Well, the secondaries can take them. They'll, a kill is a kill, but they're nothing to worry about. Uh, 90-4 might not make it. Gonna launch at a target. Even if that might just be a light cruiser. launched now? There we go, torpedoes out. And torpedoes out. Excellent. And the enemy is hitting their own ships with torpedoes. (90-4), you have done amazingly well. It's too bad you won't survive that, but Budapest is still afloat, but that is just barely. How many torpedoes did you eat? 9. 9 torpedo boats. 9 torpedo boats. 9 torpedoes. But we sank 2 light cruisers. I'm gonna say that was a worthy sacrifice. You're out of torps. You're actually good. You could come back and do something. Gonna accelerate time a little bit as we sail a little bit closer. Actually might want to have the battleships engage enemy armored cruisers. Secondaries can still take on the torpedo boats. Ooh, you've taken something of a hit. You're not really firing, are you? That is fine. I think it's gonna live, because the enemy doesn't seem to be closing in on it. There you go, good hits are being scored. They're also taken. So what kind of pen was that? Main belt pen. A 10.2-inch gun. There we go. We're getting it back at least. Budapest is not combat effective at the moment, so we can just save her for last. And 90-3 is coming back with torpedoes. think what I want to have happen is I use my guns to sink all this padding around the Budapest and then finish her off with torpedoes from 90-3. Like, that would be the ideal. Drop you down to cruising speed. You are at cruising speed. You two are not at cruising speed, and you ran out of HE. Still got AP though. I wanna take care of having you guys mostly engage the light cruisers, which you can penetrate. "12-inch hits from my battleships takes out the Graz. I'm still afloat, but just barely. Probably not gonna survive. It's taking a lot of water. Graz sinks. Which means Suleiman, I want to have you finish off Helgoland. You're running low on ammo. Maybe because you lost your A turrets. Uh, 90-3, darn it. Kind of forgot about you. You've gotten way too close into a bunch of ships I don't want you close to. You only got HE left, so you might as well just go for the light cruisers. Darn it, I actually lost torpedoes. Because I wasn't paying attention and actually got too close. At least the rudder is repaired. So we got 2 armored cruisers and 1 light cruiser left guarding the battleship. And of course the battleship itself is not completely defenseless. Which side do you have torpedo tubes on? We got one functioning on each side. So it's gonna be one torpedo from each side then. And they're gonna have to hit the bow section of the battleship. That'll be tricky. Thames is at least taking hits now. Might sink before my torpedo boat gets there, which is good. I don't want it getting in the way. Meanwhile, the light cruisers are drawing the enemy light cruisers away. Tyrol is still afloat. Barely. But Jagged is almost completely intact. Well, not anymore. Oh gosh darn it! Well, this fire aimed at the armored cruiser. I was sure she was going to be okay because it was just very light caliber from the enemy torpedo boats. I guess she lost a bunch of crew already. Probably from those torpedo tubes being knocked out. Well, it's up to the battleships then to sink the enemy battleship. But first we're going to take care of these two armored cruisers. Wouldn't be long now until they're gone. Both battleships are pretty much intact, which is good. Okay, both of you now just finish off Tyrol. Then Jagged. Then I guess Budapest. Light cruisers out of ammo. We may take care of these torpedo boats with secondary guns. Only this one has torpedoes left. Partial penguins. Suleiman, Jagged is a better target for you. More flooding on Tyrol. These only have secondaries left. Not doing much against the enemy battleship, but doing something. Enemy cruisers are running out of fuel. Tunis has now taken some hits. 10-inch guns from the enemy cruisers. You would kindly just finish them off. That would be nice. We can speed you up. You only have secondaries anyway. I want to sink these three. And then this group of ships here can probably just survive. It's fine. Huge hit on Jagged. That might be the kill shot. That certainly was. Let's switch it up. Have the main guns go for Budapest. It all is actually still firing. that single bow-mounted 10-inch gun. While Budapest is taking hits, none of them are sinking her. It's too bad. This one surrendered. One torpedo on the bow would have been all it would take. Probably. Okay, so Lehman, you are actually in perfect position. Use your main guns on Tyrol. There we go, a little bit of flooding, but that's on the already flooded section. That's fine. Not exactly what I'm after, but... you are still with us. Layman, did you change targets on your own? Don't do that. Huge hits on Budapest, but again, no hits on the bow. That's gonna happen now that we get around in front of her, I guess. You're gonna have to save your remaining AP rounds, Suleiman. What's the AP pen for my HE? 1.9. It's not gonna be enough for the 4 belts. Is that it for it all? Not yet. Maybe. We're out of AP on both now. That's a layman at 2 AP left, and he used those well, sinking it all. So that's something. Now it's just a matter of sinking Budapest, but we've got nothing left that can do any flooding. So that'll have to be by structure, I guess, but HE really isn't good in this mod if you don't have the pen to go through anything. So it looks like we're leaving Budapest alive. Let's see if we can end the battle. There we go. That was a long one. And I didn't actually get all the kills I wanted. We sank one battleship and heavily damaged another. Sank 4 out of the 6 armored cruisers. 7 out of 10 light cruisers. And 4 out of the 6 torpedo boats. We lost 5 torpedo boats of our own though. Which is not ideal. Let's see if the game freezes or... No, it worked. It worked. I still want to do a manual save. But that is it for now. We have not completely defeated, at least mostly defeated the Austrian Navy. This task force that I did not want to have fight what turned out to be a huge Dutch force, they can go here and finish up what remains of the Austrians. Yeah. It was another... This is the force I wanted to fight. This is the one I got. So... might have to send something to deal with those later. And we're gonna have a lot of ships here that need to set you back to sea control. That need to repair. Not the heaviest of repairs, but it's they're gonna need some repairs. And I'm gonna need some torpedo boats. Let's build another 10. I want 6 in Constantinople. And these 4 can go to Badr Abbas. At least torpedo boats are cheap, and they don't take up too much shipbuilding capacity, so that's good. That is nice. And that's it for this episode. Happy to see that the campaign seems to be working now, without the game freezing, because that was a bit annoying. After the first battle I fought in the previous episode against the Austrian Navy, the game froze and crashed. And it didn't save the battle. It had saved before the start of the battle, but it didn't autosave after it, so I had to play it over again. Somewhat annoying. But now things are working and the campaign can proceed. Goodbye and take care.